South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions.
Hey, good morning, folks. It's Kenny White here at Sports by the Book. Normally, I've got Alex White next to me, and normally this is Jeff Parles here with you, joining on Thursday. I think Jeff's enjoying the Mets run in the playoffs against the Phillies. The Mets move on. Congratulations to the Masons. They look like a team that is playing pressure-free baseball. But, our hearts first go out to everyone in South Florida who are experiencing major Hurricane Milton, who's gone through and devastation there. 1 week after getting hit by Helene, Milton, with winds over 100 miles an hour and the rainfall, the sea surge over 15 feet in Tampa area. I saw the Tropicana Dome. The roof was completely torn off. It is just horrible what's happening in Florida. So our prayers go out to everyone in South Florida. Hope folks are safe there and are able to get to high ground. And so many people did evacuate, and thank God that they did. Hope you are safe. And if you were fortunate enough to have power and internet and listening from Florida again, please help someone out in need there if you can. So really one of the major storms. They say a storm of a lifetime. One hasn't been this bad since 1920. So let's keep our eye on that and make sure if you can help, please help in every which way you can. Baseball yesterday, some amazing games. And I was on a great run Monday, Tuesday, 7-0 in baseball. Yesterday, I lose right off the bat with the Phillies. And I thought, oh boy, that's just, you roll 7 sevens in a row. You're not going to roll a 7 and again, probably. But I mean, the odds aren't like that. But you hit 7 straight passes on the dice table. That next one, you're still the same odds to win that game, no matter what, if you've won 7 in a row. But lose with the Phillies, passed on the over. That was a good choice. I had nothing on Detroit and Cleveland. The next game was Royals and Yankees. I played the Yankees. I bet the game over. I win the Yankees side. They win 3-2. Just couldn't come up with a big hit. There are a couple innings there. The Yankees had runners on. The Royals walking so many hitters and just giving those free passes up is what ended up costing them. Giovanni Stanton, big game. Unbelievable game. Second most home runs per at bat in the playoffs to just Babe Ruth. Stanton's had an amazing career. And the late cap was Dodgers and over. The Dodgers had the game over and told you bet some pizza money on that parlay. Dodgers to the over was 5-0 after 3. We did need a couple runs later in the game to get that to go over, and we got it. So, again, another winning day in Major League Baseball. Basically right now, almost rounding it out, 11-2 over the last 3 days. So let's talk baseball. 2 games today, and I got my football stuff here. It's so many sports going on right now, and I handle them all. I've got player power ratings on every player in all of these sports we talk about. Major League Baseball today, Cleveland at Detroit. The Tigers up 2-1, trying to close out this series. They will go with Reese Olson today. Take a drink of coffee to get that tickle out of my throat. I got the Mickey Mouse Cup today. I love Disneyland. Wish it was there today. Disney World closed only for the 16th time in the history of the park, closed today. And there's the numbers at the South Point. The series price, Detroit now $330, take back $270. Detroit leads 2-1. And I saw a graphic on the game yesterday after the game ended. Series that are tied 1-1, 5-game series. The team that wins game 3 and goes up 2-1 wins the series 73% of the time. 70% of the time is minus 230. So 73% would probably make that about 260, 270. That's what the Tigers would be overall as a whole, and an average number in history goes down. But Detroit playing home, game 4, has to add a little to that. Tanner Beebe on the year, 12-8, 3.47 ERA, 1.12 WHIP. And Reese Olson, a 4-8 record, 119 WHIP, a 153 ERA. The win-losses are completely different. Bibby's been great. I think I called him Bibby before. I think it's Bibby. 12-8 with a 3.47. Reese Olson is 4-8 with a 3.53. Their ERAs are identical. So that's why win-loss records I don't use them to rate my pitchers out. And ERA is not a stat I use either to rate my pitchers out. I rate them out on hits allowed per at-bat, kind of a batting average. I rate them out on their batters on base percentage, slugging percentage against them. I rate them on their walk to strikeout ratio. And that's the basic categories I use to rate a pitcher out and get a power rating on that pitcher. These two pitchers today, I have Tanner Beebe, 35 cents better than average, and that's a road rating for him. It's probably a little better than that at home. He's been amazing. His last start, he went 4 2/3. They pulled him. He did not give up a run. So they love that bullpen. I love that bullpen that the Indians have, one of the best in baseball. Tigers bullpen, even better. That's a great bullpen the Tigers have there. Actually, I raised the ratings. It did change a little bit. The Indians I do now have as the better bullpen. But on the road, that switches it up. Tigers stats and their numbers are actually better at home than the Guardians are on the road. Getting myself confused in every which way. But Tanner Bybee, 35 cents better than the average pitcher on the road. Reese Olson, 25 cents better than the average pitcher at home. Their median start for the season, Bybee, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. It's got good stuff. He's going to pitch 5. That's for the regular season, 5 2/3 on the road. So they're going to have the quick hook. They're going to go to that bullpen early. They cannot afford, if Bybee gets in any trouble at all, and this Tigers team can put runners on base, there'll be a quick hook. So that may be a prop you look at under outs recorded by Bybee, because I know he may not pitch deep in this game because he is pitching on the road. Reese Olson on the year, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, half a walk, 4 strikeouts. Bybee still the better ratio. I shouldn't say that. The half a walk to 4 strikeouts is a better ratio. That'd be 1 walk to 8 strikeouts. So both guys throw strikes. They challenge hitters. That's what I like. My line, though, right there, I did all that on that game for you. The Guardians, I made $1.14, 6.5. Now, I said yesterday, and this is true, and I'm probably going to bet the Guardians today because of this fact. They have their back to the wall. The Tigers are trying to close the series out. The hardest game to win is that one to close the series out. So I'll adjust 25 cents and make this $1.39 on Cleveland and the line on this game. But it's gone up. There's money on the Guardians, $1.24. Maybe I'm too late to the party. I don't get a bet on this game. I made the total 6.5. We are looking at 6.5 flat, exactly what I made the game. The nightcap, the Yankees, Kansas City. And it's not a nightcap. The Tribe and the Guardians and the Tigers, 3:08 start. Yankees and Royals, 5:08 start. So Tiger game's still going to be going on when the Kansas City and Yankee game starts. Yankees get the win yesterday, 3-2. I bet the Yankees. I knew they needed the game. You can kind of zigzag here now, but I don't in this situation because it's just it's not worthy of the adjustment. I made Garrett Cole $1.50 and 8.5. Opened $1.47. Right now it's about $1.50 in that range, exactly what I made it. You see right there, $1.40, $1.49, 7.5 over. I made this total 8.5. Not a big enough difference for me to make a bet over the 7.5 because I don't like overs in the first place. I'd rather bet under. So I'll pass. I bet a couple of, I had this game over yesterday, Yankees and Royals. Didn't get there. There was enough base runners to get it there, but we just didn't get those key hits to help that game go over. It did go over in the first 5 innings. It was 2-2. But I didn't bet that. Did not bet the AFC. So really, I have nothing for you. I apologize. I wish I could, but I can't make up bets. That's just not the way I do it. My process is very simple. I rate the players out. I pit them up against each other. I make a price on the game for the power ratings I have, and there you go. Yankees right now, a favorite to win the pennant. minus 150. Tigers plus $2. Royals plus 7. Guardians plus $8 on the Guardians. Wow. They got to win 2 here. Basically, you're looking at a 3-team parlay for the Guardians. First of all, to win this game, to win Saturday against Skubal, where you know they're going to be probably an underdog in that game with Tarek Skubal on the mound. So I don't know if 8-1's enough. The 2-teamer is going to pay over $6. And then you know you're going to be the underdog probably to the Yankees in that series, or even the Royals could be the underdog there. So 1 game tomorrow. I'll be back here on Sports by the Book. That's the Padres and Dodgers. I'll go over that one tomorrow. WNBA championship game should be a good one. This was the Commissioner's Cup game, and 2 years in a row now. This is 2 years in a row. We just started the Commissioner's Cup last year. 2 years in a row, the teams that played in the Commissioner's Cup played in the WNBA Finals. Last year, it was the Aces and Liberty. The Liberty, I believe, won that game last year for the Commissioner's Cup. Could be wrong, but I know the Aces won the championship. They won back-to-back. And I think it was the Aces won the Commissioner's Cup as well. Well, this year Commissioner's Cup was won by Minnesota. They beat New York in that game. So that was a big money game for these teams. The Liberty will host the series. First 2 games in New York, then they'll move to Minnesota. The Liberty, a 6-point favorite, opened at the South Point, is currently 6. The total 159 up to 159.5, and the series price there to win the series, the Liberty minus 270, the Lynx 230. I made the Liberty a little bit higher here, and I didn't add in any revenge factor from losing that Commissioner's Cup. I like the little extra rest the Liberty have had. They have been the best team in the W all year long. They're now my highest rated team. Going into the playoffs, Vegas was 1 point higher. I had them rated 1 point higher. They have so much talent with Asia Wilson and the players around her. They just didn't have the same type of year they had last year. Liberty just seems like they are on a mission. And this could be a higher scoring game. Minnesota, a very high scoring game on the road, and their point guard Williams is really pushing the pace. So I do like the Liberty here, and I do like the over. Small bets for me. These are 1% bets. I bet the Liberty, laid the 6. I went over the total 159, and then I made a pizza money parlay with those 2 in it. That's pretty much correlated for me, Liberty to the over. Let's go to hockey. We got more hockey today. Big day of action on the ice. Congratulations to the Golden Knights last night, an 8-4 win over Colorado. They're basically their biggest rival and the team that they battle every year to get to the Stanley Cup. So, wow, they look good. Continuity, the passing was there. They were fluid, and they were accurate shooting the pucks last night. Very, very nice win. Vancouver had a big lead over Calgary and blew it and lose in overtime. Calgary gets the win there. That was another game. Went flying over the total. Today, I'm going to give you some goalies. These are backup goalies today. Montreal will go with their backup, Caden Primo. I have a 15-cent drop-off there. Jeremy Swayman will start tonight in goal for Boston. Did not start in their first game against Florida. It was a revenge game, and they got crushed. Not sure what we're going to get from Swayman. I only made him 216, and he's 270 out there in the market. Let me check on the Spank Odds screen to make sure that's still there at the South Point. South Point right now, 280. 280 on Boston. Take back 240 on Montreal. Not a big enough difference for me. When the numbers get that high, the favorites do have a better chance of winning the game. So the higher, obviously, they do. But when it gets that high, you need a little bit more plus money to take a shot at the dog. And Montreal with their second-string goalie tonight. So, but still that uncertainty with Swayman in goal. My total wasn't high enough to bet it over, so don't think that it was an overplay. I only made it 5.5 over at 6 under right now at the South Point. The next game, the Toronto Maple Leafs, losers in game one, to Montreal. Anthony Solárez will go. He's their second stringer. There is a pretty good drop-off there, about 25 cents in goal. He goes against New Jersey and Jacob Markstrom. I made the Devils $1.50, and I laid 120 on New Jersey. It is now 130, 135 in the market. So really no play at that price for me. So you're going to have to pass there. Nothing on that game. Let me go back a couple games. Los Angeles playing Buffalo. Remember, Buffalo went to Prague and played 2 games there against New Jersey. They lose both games, 4-1 and 3-1. I really like this team. This is one of the better young teams in hockey. The last game in Prague was Saturday. They flew home that night after the game because it was early morning here. By the time they got back home, it was early evening, most likely. So they were able to get their rest Saturday night. Probably took Sunday off, got back to practice at Monday, and got their legs back underneath them on Tuesday. Here we are on Thursday, 2 games under their belt. I think they're the better team. Yesterday, the Kings were the favorite. Now today, pretty much Buffalo is a small favorite, minus a dime, maybe even both ways. My power rating sheet, I only made them $1.13, but I do like them in this spot with those 2 games under their belt at home. I think they get the W here. Long travel for the Kings, obviously, LA to Buffalo. So I do like Buffalo today, one of my better plays. The Islanders will go with their number 2 goalie, Semyon Varlamov, who's really good goalie still. So not a big drop-off. Well, I shouldn't say that. It is kind of a big drop-off because Ilya is one of the best in the NHL for the Islanders. So I do have a 30-cent drop-off there in price. I made the Islanders 123. 6 over 40. This game $1.46 and 5.5 over a quarter. I saw that over a quarter, but that is gone. It is now 6 under. That total has gone up. I would have suggested over 5.5. If you still see one in that Islanders game, I suggest over there. The Utah team win their first home game and scored a lot of points in that one. Here's one I like. Dallas at Nashville. We've heard a lot about Nashville this year and how improved they're going to be because the players they brought in, and they are. They're an above average NHL hockey team now. They're in the top 12 of the NHL. They will go with their number 2 goalie, Scott Wedgwood, tonight. The key factor there is Scott Wedgwood was the backup at Dallas last year. He is playing the Dallas Stars in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of incentive here in this game for Nashville and Wedgwood. I like Nashville here in this game, and I only made the total. I made it 5.5 over 30. This one was 6.5. All these totals have kind of moved my way. Apologize. So I would not go under 6. I would have gone under 6.5. But right now, 6 over 20 at the South Point in that game. So I'll pass there, but I do like Nashville minus 105 with Wedgwood at home. A lot of enthusiasm there from the crowd tonight because of the moves they've made. A lot of excitement in Nashville. So there you go. That's my hockey. We'll circle that Buffalo game up. We will circle up the Nashville game. And we will go, I know I had a total here for you. I wanted to go over 5.5 for the Islanders, but that moved. I thought I had one more total. Maybe it was an under, and I'm missing it somewhere. Might have been Detroit and Pittsburgh. That game is 6.5 over, and I made it 6 over. That is Bloomquist, Joel Bloomquist, who's done a nice job for Pittsburgh's an up-and-coming goalie against Ville Husso for Detroit. But I don't think that was the play. Oh, the play, Boston, I made 5.5 over 15. I really don't see any pucks with more than a goal difference. Why I didn't realize it and notice it was the top game on the card. Ottawa and Florida tonight. Bobrovsky versus Ullmark, 2 well above average goalies. I made 5.5 over 30. There's 6.5s in the market, minus a dime, and that's exactly what the number is at the South Point in that Panther-Senator game right there. So mark that down. 3 plays from me in hockey tonight. Ottawa and Florida under the 6.5, Buffalo, and the Nashville Predators. Those are my 3 plays. So, and you had 2 plays from me WNBA. Let's go on to the little stuff, the college football. It's really the big stuff. It's football. You know, we've got football as the 100,000-pound gorilla. I'll go in order of the board tonight. Coastal Carolina and James Madison. I just got finished writing up some notes on that game. I made James Madison 8.5 and 62. Looking at the South Point right now, let me get to that number. Right there on the screen to be easy to look. 9.5 and 61. So my number's really right on this game. Tim Beck, I say it's right on this game, but my numbers on my power rating sheets are 75% of the equation. It's all the math. You have to add in the science to betting. There's tangibles in every game as well that you have to add in. One is a revenge factor. Tim Beck's in his second year as head coach of Coastal Carolina. Now, James Madison has a new coach, Bob Chesney. I don't know if they're in relation to Kenny. 6 years at Holy Cross. Just took the James Madison job. So he wasn't there last year. James Madison won 56-14 at Coastal. Wow, that was a beatdown. That is a revenge factor. Home revenge for Coastal Carolina. I take 2.5 points off of that. I'll make this game 6. I'm betting Coastal Carolina plus 9.5 here. Tim Beck, again, 8-5 in his first year. He was 8-5 ATS. He's covering spreads, got a good quarterback in Ethan Vasco. They run the football 61% of the time, 24th in the country. 28 seconds in between plays is number 78. James Madison and Bob Chesney, the head coach who came from Holy Cross, is a very conservative, run-heavy coach, but he runs it 56% of the time. He's let his quarterback, Dylan Morris, throw it more than I thought this year. 26 seconds in between plays is 43rd in the nation in pace. Strength of schedule, Coastal's played the 99th strength of schedule, where James Madison 128. 128. They played a very easy schedule. At Charlotte, winner in cover. Gardner-Webb at home, they won 13-6. Over Gardner-Webb at home in the following week, they won 70-50 at North Carolina. They beat Gardner-Webb by 7 at home and then went on the road and put up 70 on North Carolina. Obviously, they were looking through Gardner-Webb to North Carolina. They followed that with a 63-7 win over Ball State, so no letdown. Maybe the letdown came the next week. At Louisiana Monroe, they lose 21-19. 3 of the 5 games have gone under for James Madison because Chesney is a very conservative football coach. Tim Beck plays a little more wide open at Coastal Carolina. Even though he was an under guy last year, 8-5 under for the season, he's 4-1 over in his games this year. They are 4-1 as a team. Beat Jacksonville State at Jacksonville State. We saw them play last night, and I told you about that. Rich Rod runs up scores, and he really didn't have the chance to because his team ran right through New Mexico State. New Mexico State turned the ball over down several times. Kenny Sanchez opted to go for it instead of punt, which was the right move, and that led to some short fields for Jacksonville State. But Coastal beat them 55-27. They beat William & Mary, a very good football team, 40-21. At Temple, 28-20. Not the greatest of wins because Temple, a very weak team, but did play their hearts out. Temple did last week versus Connecticut. Anyway, that was the worst performance for Coastal on the year. They rebounded a loss at Virginia, or against Virginia, home game. They lost 43-24. Lost the spread, lost the turnover battle, but they did perform well. And then against Old Dominion last week, they win 45-39. Their performance rating on the year has come out a 108. And I only have them a 102.5 team. I think they're going to end up improving and going up with Tim Beck. On the flip side, James Madison has also overachieved with their performance rating. A 106.5 I have them rated, 4 points better, and that's how I get to 8.5 with 4.5 points home. But I took that 2.5 off, remember, for revenge for Coastal in that 56-14 beating last year. So I am taking the 9 with Carolina, Coastal Carolina plus the 9. I'm going to look here. I think it's El Paso. Nope, it's not. Middle Tennessee and Louisiana Tech. Middle Tennessee is Derek Mason's their head coach. You'll remember him from Vanderbilt, 7 years as the head guy, 27-55, up against Louisiana Tech's Sonny Cumbie. Cumbie, 2 years now as the head guy at La Tech. Before that, he was the OC at TCU for 7 years. So Mason more head coaching experience than Cumbie, even though Cumbie's been with this program for 2 years. So Cumbie 9-12 ATS the last 2 years and 2-2 this year. He is 13-10 over, but 1-3 under this year. 3-1 to the under this year. So not a lot of trends to talk about for either coach right now. Now, Middle Tennessee 1-4 ATS under Derek Mason. He's in his first year. The cupboard was bare when he got there. 117 on offense, ranking 124 defensively. So this Middle Tennessee team is well below average, 121 overall, a 92.5 rating. They played the 69th toughest schedule in the country, but their performance rating just a 90 with that soft schedule. Home against Tennessee Tech was a winner in week 1, but they didn't cover. At Ole Miss, figure a beat down to Lane Kiffin's team. They lost 52-3. They lost to Western Kentucky 49-10. I took the points with Middle Tennessee in that game. Then they lost to Duke 45-17. They lost to Memphis 24-7. They are 3-2 to the over, and that's because the defense has given up points. I told you the defense ranked 124th out of 134. Louisiana Tech, their offense is not much better. 127. Actually, it's not better. I think Middle Tennessee's offense is better than Louisiana Tech. Where Tech has the advantage in this game is the 68th best defense. Much, much better than Middle Tennessee, who I've got 124. As a team, Louisiana Tech, I have ranked 111th in the country at 95.5 rating. 3 points better. I made Tech 7.5. And the performance rating, 103.5 for Tech. Sonny Cumbie's team is overperforming to the number, which I like it. This game is 4 in the marketplace everywhere. Better check out South Point. They are now at 4.5, one of the best numbers, because I think that Louisiana Tech wins this game. There is a lot of 4.5s in the market. There are still some 4s out there, though. So I am on Louisiana Tech, laying the 4. I also made the total 42.5. This total open 48.5 at Circa, bet up to 49, open 50 at South Point, down to 49. So those two spots kind of met in the middle. I still think it's a little high, and why I think that way is Louisiana Tech, an offense ranked 127 and a defense that's ranked 68th. The defense is they give up 30 at North Carolina State, and they give up 17 at FIU. Those are games they lost, but the defense is good, and Middle Tennessee has struggled to score. So I'm betting Louisiana Tech on the strength of the defense. El Paso is at Western Kentucky, 5 o'clock kickoff Pacific, 8 Eastern. I made Western Kentucky 12.5, 56. South Point numbers, they opened 20, now 19.5, as you see on the screen. They opened 56.5 on the total, currently 57. Western Kentucky, coached by Tyson Helton, 5 years there now, 40-28. Scotty Walden is the new head coach at El Paso. He came from Austin Peay. He is a rising star. Now, I do like Helton for Western Kentucky. He's a very good head coach. I think he's a rising star as well. So both coaches, rising stars. Helton's soon to be at a bigger school if he has a really good year this year. He is 3-2. His losses at Alabama to start the season in week 1, 63-0. And he lost last week at BC, but covered the spread. He only lost 21-20 2 weeks ago. That was without Boston College's quarterback Castellanos in that game. 4-1 record for Western Kentucky. They are 3-2 to the under. Tyson Helton is this year. He's normally an over coach, 36-26 over coming into the season. He's very good covering point spreads on the road. He is 2-1 this year, and he was 23-12 coming in. So he's 25-13 ATS in his road games. He's not on the road here. So big number at 19.5. I only made it 12.5. I really don't care for these plays a lot, these big underdogs. I much rather prefer a team that's a competitive game. My best bets are when we're laying less than a field goal, and my line was over a touchdown. Those are my best plays. El Paso 0-5 straight up. They have not won a game, 1-4 ATS. I thought they were getting better each week. I took the points with them against Sam Houston State, even though my projection model had Sam Houston doubling up the rushing yardage. And when that factor is there, you get a 70% spread cover. And I was on the wrong side. I just thought Scotty Waldron, rising star, a team improving. Their games had gone under, 4 straight unders. That one went over Sam Houston 41-21. That's the last time they played. Their performance rating in 95. I have a 91.5. They have overachieved 3.5 points under Scotty Waldron. Surprise, surprise. Good coaches. That's what they do. Tyson Helton, a good coach. I have their power rating 100. Their performance rating a 102 so far. So, again, my number 12.5, 56. Right there on the total, 57. I have no play there. The side I lean to UTEP. But I didn't bet the game, and I probably won't. I'm just going to pass. There's so many better games on the night. I like that Coastal Carolina with major revenge factor in that game, getting 9.5. James Madison's power rating has been moved up too far, I think, by the bookmakers because of the 2 wins, the one over North Carolina and the one over Ball State. Neither team playing very well. So I like Coastal plus the points. I like Louisiana Tech. I bet Louisiana Tech, and I bet under. Hey, I think we have an NFL game tonight. Let's see if I can find that sheet. Seattle and San Francisco. San Francisco is my team coming into the season. As I mentioned, the highest rated team I've ever had. Rating teams out from the beginning of the season. Now, I've had teams, that improve during the season, and they get better and better and better. But San Francisco has not started well. I have them a 114.5 rating to begin the year. That's the highest beginning rating I've ever had. And the ratings get higher every year because the players get bigger, faster, and stronger. They're just better. They're better athletes. So it's bound to be. It's bound to happen. But this Frisco team has not played well. Their performance rating, 102. Kyle Shanahan, 7 years now at San Francisco. He's a spread cover machine on the road. Maybe that's the reason why they like the side. This game was 3 yesterday. Now we're looking at 3.5s. For San Francisco. I only made them 2.5. I've adjusted them down. 107 rating. Seattle, I have a 103. So I have a 4-point difference between the teams, and I have a 1.5 I gave to Seattle for their home field. And their home field's great. The 12th man there, Seattle, they are so loud. Maybe it's worth more than that, but I think it should be 2.5. Normally, I like to have a 2.5-point difference to make a bet. But I also bet off percentages. And from 2.5 to 3 to 3 to 3.5, those are big moves. Big moves. The 3 is still a very key number. So about a total of 6% from 2.5 to 3.5. That's my advantage. That's my edge that I look for. Everything's about numbers. And so I have a 6% edge there in that game, taking 3.5 with Seattle. I'm going to do it. San Francisco just has not played well. People are betting them because the due factor. They're due for a good game. And they're still very talented. 4th best offense, 3rd best defense, 2nd best overall team. I'm sorry, 4th offense. Their offensive line is the 3rd best. Their defense, I have number 6 now. They've dropped a little bit defensively. A 107 rating. They've played the easiest schedule in the NFL. And they're 2-3. My highest rated team has played the easiest schedule in the entire NFL. The Jets at home, at Minnesota, at the Rams, New England, and Arizona. Minnesota is the only team out of that group that has a winning record. And they lost 23-17. They lost by 6 in that game. They lost by 3 to the Rams, and they lost by 1 to Arizona. They're losing close games. So they're still very good. I'm not making a knee-jerk reaction. We're down to a 107 from a 114.5. That's a knee-jerk reaction. It really is. But a knee-jerk reaction when having them around 100. I've had to make the adjustments. One thing is CMC is 2.5 points to the betting line. So really, that 114 is adjusted to 112, and that's where I started this team to begin the year. Now they've had some injuries as well, and I've dropped Brock Purdy's passing rating because he hasn't played as well as he did last year. Seattle, first-year coach Mike Macdonald, not a capital D in the last name, all lowercase. First year, 9 years as an assistant at Baltimore. The last 2, he was the DC. He brings in Ryan Grubb as his offensive coordinator, who was the OC for the Washington Huskies. So Grubb got to stay in the Northwest. He must love it there. He applied for the job. Mike Macdonald liked what he saw, and he hired him. So we got a rookie OC there. Rookie defensive coordinator, Aiden Durden, come over from the Dallas Cowboys, where he was a defensive coordinator, assistant, and he was with the Cowboys for 3 years. Pace of play, San Francisco, 48% run, 11th highest in the NFL. They're still running it, even without CMC. 31.6 seconds is the third slowest team in the NFL. So they play very slow, methodical. Flip side, Seattle's playing fast, 27.3, fourth fastest team in the NFL. Could be because they were behind the last 2 weeks. That number has gone up a little bit. 33% run for Seattle, though, last in the league. They throw it more than anybody. And we showed you those numbers this week. Alex White ran the numbers. I think it was like 65%. The top 5 teams that throw it the most have only covered 35%. The top 5 teams that run the ball the most, it might have been top 10. We calculated this out, was still high figures. So running teams have shown they win more, and San Francisco will run more. But I'm still taking 3.5 in the game. Big rivalry game, big game for both teams. Both teams have underperformed. San Francisco, again, I have a 107 rating, a 102 performance. Seattle have a 103 and a 100 performance. So they've only underperformed 3 points. So they lost their last 2. They lost at Detroit, 42-29, and they lost to the Giants last week, 29-20. I have Seattle's offense 6th best in the NFL, 12th offensive line, 19th on defense, and 8th in overall as a team. That leads me kind of the total, because I know that I have some friends that are on my website that put plays into my VIP club, and I know that they may expect a couple points in this game. I made the total 51.5. It is 49 right now. I lean to the over. 2 good quarterbacks, 2 good offenses. Both teams have a better offense than they do a defense. It is a division game. I like second time around in the division unders more than I like the first time around. So there's no trend on it, though. Little bit of a lower scoring game, though, in the second time around versus these division teams. So I'm taking the 3.5, and I lean to the over in the NFL tonight. All small plays. I gave you all 1% bets. Do not overbet. Do not drink and bet. It's like drinking and driving. Could cost you a great deal. So money management is the key to beating sports, doing your homework, shopping and getting the best numbers, and then obviously managing the money, and that is important. So appreciate you being here today. Hey, we've got Gone Racing today, Thursday at the South Point. All the great shows. Join us, Sports by the Book, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Alex White. We've got Punchlines with Frank Nicotero at noon every day, Monday to Friday. You can also catch Alex White and Jeff Parles on the weekend, 8 a.m. on Saturday, 9 a.m. on Sunday. I'll be back with you tomorrow here on Sports by the Book at 9 a.m. to talk about whatever we have going on Friday. I'll talk about all of the action on Friday, and I'll throw in some Saturday college football for you as well. So appreciate you being here. Please subscribe and like. That lets YouTube know we've got people watching the show. So thanks again. Have a great Thursday, folks.